Ensuring equitable distribution of power, a path to true legacy. What is it? True power does not come from hoarding control. It comes from creating a system where power flows freely, justly, and wisely. For too long, power has been centralized, locked away in the hands of the few. But history has shown that concentrated power always collapses. It turns on itself, it breeds resentment, and it ultimately destroys the very structures it was meant to protect. This is an invitation to transform power itself. Decentralizing authority, not as an act of surrender, but as an act of wisdom. True strength lies in a system that is resilient, sustainable, and built to last beyond any one leader or dynasty. Expanding civic engagement, not as a loss of control, but as an expansion of influence. When people are engaged, they become loyal, invested, and inspired. Creating true legacy, not by ruling through fear, but by being remembered as the ones who changed everything for the better. This approach reshapes governance into something that will be honored rather than resented. Why do we need it? Because even the most powerful empires fall. When power is centralized, the people eventually revolt. When control is absolute, it breeds paranoia and fear, not just among the masses, but among those at the top. When power is hoarded, it becomes fragile. It becomes something that must be constantly defended, rather than something that naturally expands. The old system is unsustainable. Even those who benefit from it recognize this. But those in positions of influence do not have to be remembered as the architects of decline. You can be the ones who saw the turning point and had the courage to act. This is not about losing power. It is about transforming it into something indestructible. What do we lose if we don't act? If power remains concentrated, the cycle will repeat as it always has. Increasing instability, the people are waking up. The unrest will grow. Power will become harder to hold on to, not easier. Internal collapse. History proves that systems built on control eventually weaken from within. An inevitable reckoning. When the shift comes, those who refuse to act will be seen as the problem, not the solution. This is not a threat. It is a reality. There is a rare chance to transition with wisdom and grace. Those who take it will be remembered as visionaries, not as obstacles to progress. What do we gain if we do? If power is wisely distributed rather than hoarded, society gains. A sustainable system, one that does not rely on force, but on shared investment and commitment. Loyalty instead of rebellion. When people feel heard, they do not rise against leadership, they rise with it. A place in history that commands respect. Those who lead this shift will not be forgotten as figures of corruption, but as those who redefined leadership itself. A future for the next generations, one where leadership is based on trust rather than fear. This is not about giving up power. It is about transcending the need for control altogether. When power is held with wisdom, it does not need to be defended. What policies and laws need to be implemented? This transition must be intentional, structured, and built to last. Legacy-based governance. True leaders plan for generations, not just for election cycles. Rotational stewardship. Power circulates, ensuring fresh leadership while maintaining stability. Decentralized decision-making. Localized leadership ensures that communities have direct control over their needs. Transparency and trust. Public oversight structures. People must see governance as something they are part of, not something done to them. Ethical accountability for leaders, not as punishment, but as a mark of integrity. Restorative justice initiatives, a system where mistakes are acknowledged and rectified, not hidden. Expanding civic engagement. Educational investment in leadership. The next generation must be trained to lead, not just to follow. Community decision-making models. Policies shaped with the people, not just for them. A new social contract, one that redefines power as a collective force, not an individual privilege. This is not the end of governance. It is the beginning of its highest form. How will it be funded? transition requires resources, but it does not require sacrifice. Investment-based governance. Those who hold wealth are not being asked to give it up. They are being invited to invest it into something lasting. Ethical economic models. Power structures that generate prosperity rather than extract it. A new standard for wealth distribution. One where resources are managed responsibly, ensuring stability for all. Private-public partnerships for sustainable leadership. Those in power can co-create a future that ensures their legacy rather than threatens it. Funding is not the issue. The issue is who controls the money. When power is shared, the ability to manage resources wisely follows. A new era of leadership. The old world of control is fading. What will replace it depends on those with the courage to lead this transition. This is not the time to dig in and resist change. This is the time to redefine what it means to lead. Power will shift one way or another. The question is who will guide that shift.